Kaisenat only donated $150 to the Mr. Beast water charity. People are also calling out for not even finishing those buildings or schools or whatever in Africa he plans on doing.
It's just another day where Kaisenat and Rakai have not donated to Team Water. First, it was the Nigerian school scam. No schools have been built, and also Kaisenat has not donated $400,000. Rakai hasn't donated zero.
85. If Kaisenat does 400K, on God, I'll do 400K. Locked.
Kaisenat, the most beloved Twitch streamer on the planet. From basement streams to...
Kaisenat is in the middle of not one, but two internet firestorms. One started with a gaming collab that crashed and burned live on stream. The other? A global charity project that somehow turned into a PR nightmare. And while his fans rushed to defend him, others say this is the clearest proof yet that Kai's fame has changed him. By the end of this video, you'll see exactly why the internet is so split and why some believe this is Kai's biggest L yet. If you've been following Kai for a while, you'll remember his last round of internet heat. Back then, TikTok users were lighting up their timelines with clips of his now infamous laugh, a laugh some called fake, overacted, and way too much. These weren't small comments either. They were meme level, endless reposts, and even reaction videos clowning on how over the top his streams could feel. The joke was that the content he laughed at wasn't even funny, at least, not to anyone else watching. For weeks, it was a running bit on social media, Kai reacting like he'd just seen the funniest thing in his life, even when the clip was just mildly amusing. People debated whether it was just his personality or calculated entertainment. Either way, the criticism was everywhere. But eventually, the noise died down. The memes slowed, and it almost seemed like the audience and Kai had silently agreed to move on. No more fake laugh discourse. No more TikTok roasting him. Peace, at least for the moment. But that calm? It didn't last long. Because when his name came up again, the conversation was about something entirely different. This time, the spark came from what should have been one of the simplest collabs ever, a Clash Royale stream with fellow creator Jinxie. The plan was straightforward. Jinxie would coach Kai through the game, and they'd stream it together for both audiences. No controversy in sight. But from the start, something felt off. The Amp crew, who were hanging around during the setup, kept talking over Jinxie, cracking side jokes, and generally drowning out any actual game instructions. The moment Jinxie tried to explain how to start a match, someone else was already cutting in. The back and forth wasn't collaborative, it was chaotic. And before long, Kai made a move that shocked everyone watching. He stood up, switched gears to his IRL content, and left. No, give me a second. No, we'll get back to the game in a bit. Just gone. The camera's still on, Jinxie's still sitting there, trying to figure out what had just happened. For a few awkward minutes, Jinxie tried to salvage the moment, but eventually, even he had to call it. He shut down his own stream, telling viewers he didn't know what was going on and that he'd just see them the next day. And honestly, most people watching felt that was fair. If you plan a collab and your co-host just disappears, how are you supposed to keep going? It didn't take long for the reaction to hit Kai's own chat. Ls were flying in at lightning speed. Tweets started rolling out. Clips of him walking away were making the rounds on TikTok within hours. Some viewers brushed it off as just bad communication. Others? They saw it as a blatant sign of disrespect, especially toward a smaller creator who had taken the time to plan something special. And if you thought the incident was over after that, Kai's explanation only made things messier. When Kai finally spoke on the situation, he admitted he felt bad about how it went down. He mentioned that Jinxie had been waiting all day, that there had even been a flyer promoting the collab. On paper, that sounds like someone owning up to a mistake. But for many viewers, it didn't feel genuine. The timing made it look like he only cared because chat had flooded him with criticism in real time. Without that pressure, people argued, he wouldn't have given it a second thought. Even in the apology, there were moments where it felt like he was shifting the blame, talking about IRL plans, hinting at scheduling issues, bringing up side details that didn't really excuse walking out midstream. And while Kai promised he'd still do the stream in the future, that didn't erase what viewers had just seen. the damage was done. For his supporters, it was just a slip-up, something minor in the grand scheme. But for his critics, it was the first clear strike in what they saw as a bigger pattern. And the second strike came sooner than anyone expected. Enter Mr. Beast, and one of the most ambitious, creator-led charity projects in recent years. Team Water had one goal: provide clean drinking water to over 2 million people worldwide. The math was simple. Every dollar donated equals one person getting clean water for an entire year. To pull it off, Mr. Beast rallied hundreds of major influencers, from streamers to YouTubers to social media giants. The result? In a shockingly short time, the project had already raised $6.5 million. That's 6.5 million years of clean water for communities in need. The campaign wasn't just about the money, it was about showing that content creators could unite to make a massive real-world impact. Donation leaderboards popped up, showcasing everyone from YouTube itself pledging $2 million, to Trainwrecks giving $400,000, to smaller creators tossing in whatever they could. The energy was positive, the mission was clear, and the names kept scrolling. But as viewers scanned the list, one name was missing, a name they fully expected to see. Kaisenat's name wasn't on the donor board. Not for $10,000. Not for $1,000. Not even for $100. It wasn't just fans who noticed, other creators did too. Aiden Ross publicly said he'd match whatever Kai donated, no matter the amount. Rumors spread that Mr. Beast himself had reached out. Yet, there was still no public response from Kai, no visible contribution on the list. Here's the thing, no one is obligated to give to charity. It's not a legal requirement, and it's not fair to demand someone's money just because they're successful. But the internet doesn't work in legalities. It works in optics. And the optics here were that one of the most watched streamers in the world stayed silent while his peers, some with smaller platforms and less income, stepped up. For many fans, it wasn't about the size of the donation. It was about showing up for a cause that was uniting the entire creator community. Either of these incidents, on their own, might have faded quickly. A botched gaming collab? That happens. Skipping a charity event? Also happens. But back to back, the narrative started to change. Walking out on a smaller creator was seen as not respecting his peers. Sitting out one of the biggest collaborative charity pushes in years was seen as not supporting the larger creator community. And when those perceptions stack up, people stop looking at the moments in isolation. They start looking at the bigger picture. For supporters, the bigger picture is still overwhelmingly positive. A streamer who entertains millions, gives back in his own way, and doesn't know the internet every detail of his decisions. For critics, it's a story about fame, priorities, and whether success has pulled Kai away from the things that made him relatable in the first place. And with both stories dominating Twitter threads, TikTok stitches, and YouTube commentary videos, Kai wasn't just in one controversy. He was in the middle of a narrative about his entire public image. So here we are, two controversies, two very different situations, but one question that keeps coming up: has Kai changed? Some say the internet is just overreacting, looking for flaws in a creator who's at the top of his game. Others believe this is the clearest sign yet that the Kaisenat they first subscribed to isn't the same person they're watching now. The truth? That's for you to decide. Is this all being blown out of proportion? Or is it the start of a new chapter in Kai's career, one where the L's start to stack up? Drop your thoughts below, because if history is any indication, this won't be the last time Kai's name is trending for reasons he probably wishes it wasn't.